A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a landmark case that could reshape the landscape of political funding in the United States, the Supreme Court on Tuesday examined the legality of federal restrictions on coordinated spending between political committees and federal candidates. The case, known as NRSC v. FEC, is pivotal as it follows a series of recent rulings by the Supreme Court that have progressively weakened campaign finance regulations. The dispute centers around the limits established by Congress on coordinated party expenditures under the Federal Election Campaign Act of 1971, a law designed to regulate federal campaign financing. For the current election cycle, which spans from 2023 to 2024, party committees are limited to spending between $61,800 and $123,000 for House campaigns, and between $123,600 and $3.7 million for Senate campaigns, according to the Federal Election Commission, FEC. Notably, a 2014 amendment to the law allows for unlimited coordinated spending on specific activities, such as election recounts and legal proceedings. The legal battle before the Supreme Court was initiated in 2022 by then-Senate candidate J.D. Vance, along with former Representative Steve Chabot of Ohio and two Republican committees, the National Republican Senatorial Committee and the National Republican Congressional Committee. The plaintiffs argue that these spending limits infringe upon their First Amendment rights to free speech. A federal appeals court upheld the caps, referencing a 2001 Supreme Court ruling that maintained these restrictions. The FEC, under the Trump administration, has stated that these spending limits infringe upon the rights of political parties and candidates and should be overturned. During the proceedings, the Supreme Court appointed attorney Roman Martinez to defend the restrictions, while allowing a trio of Democratic Party committees to intervene in the case. Throughout the arguments, several conservative justices, including Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Brett Kavanaugh, expressed skepticism about the constitutionality of the spending caps. Justice Kavanaugh voiced concerns about the relative weakening of political parties compared to outside groups, such as super PACs, due to existing campaign finance laws. He remarked that this weakening has detrimental effects on the democratic process, stating, "The parties have been weakened overall, and this case is at least starts to restore the strength of parties, although obviously it doesn't get them all the way there in competing with outside groups." Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Amy Coney Barrett engaged sparingly with the lawyers, while Justice Sonia Sotomayor raised alarms about the potential for corruption if these restrictions were lifted. She criticized the Supreme Court's recent trend of dismantling campaign finance laws, particularly referencing the 2010 Citizens United v. FEC ruling, which allowed corporations to spend unlimited amounts on political campaigns. Sotomayor warned that removing coordinated expenditure limits could lead to a lack of control over campaign financing, questioning, "What's left is nothing, no control whatsoever." In defense of the spending caps, Sarah Harris, the principal deputy solicitor general, argued that the limits were not solely to prevent corruption, but were also designed to regulate how much money is deemed appropriate in various election contexts. Martinez, representing the restrictions, cautioned that the Republicans are not only asking to strike down the limits on coordinated party spending, but may also seek to dismantle other campaign finance regulations in the future. He warned that this could lead to a flood of petitions that would require the Supreme Court to reconstruct campaign finance law from the ground up. As the Supreme Court deliberates, the implications of their decision could resonate through the upcoming 2026 midterm elections. The court is expected to issue a ruling by the end of June, which could either reinforce the existing limits or pave the way for increased financial influence in federal elections. This case underscores the ongoing debate over the balance between free speech and the integrity of the electoral process, a fundamental issue that continues to shape the political landscape in America. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.